What's up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. It's Lido Loca live. My name's Tony, and it's a special live show tonight. We're not going to be talking about cruising. We're going to be talking about YouTube. I thought I would take some time. I get asked a lot of questions. I know we got a lot of creators in the community, and I thought that we would talk about YouTube in 2021. Now, there's a couple main points I want to hit, and then I will jump into the chat. We will answer some questions, but there's a couple big pillars for me when it comes to YouTube, my approach to YouTube, and really anything that I do in life. The first question that I ask is why? Why would I do this? Why would I put my time and effort into YouTube? Why would I put my time and effort into anything? And so if you are out there and you are a creator, I really hope that you have an answer to the question why. And you don't have to be locked into your why answer. That can change over time. So briefly for me, my why for YouTube, in the beginning, I dabbled a little bit before we ever went on our first cruise. I tried to do some geeky unboxing videos. I was learning about how to upload videos to YouTube. And my why at that point is I wanted to do something creative. I wanted to connect with like-minded people. I wanted to have some sort of community. And I was trying to do that around geeky stuff, unboxings, toys, that kind of stuff, pop culture. And I was like, maybe I can find my tribe there. That was my why. And then Jenny, my lovely bride, my lovely wife, she convinced me that we should go on a cruise ship. And as we started preparing for our first cruise, I noticed there was a lot of people making cruise videos. Well, more people than I thought would be making cruise videos were making cruise videos. And we had a conversation. Maybe we can make cruise videos. And our why at that point was to leave something for our kids as we go on this new adventure. And it was still that same thing. Where's my tribe of people? Where are people that we can connect to? Is there a community that exists out there that we can be a part of? And that was our why. So we went on our first cruise inspired by people that were making cruising videos at that time. The Sea Cruisers, Cruise Tips TV, Mr. Traveler, Sharon at Sea. There was a couple other, cruise videos. Morgan over at the Unofficial Travel Guides. These were just people that we were watching, and we're like, wow, these folks are cool. They're making YouTube videos. We can make YouTube videos, and then that was our why. And then we got the bug, right? And so my whole life I have worked in positions where I teach, where I train, where I educate, where I lead, and I found my community. And so we came back from our first cruise, we made some videos, we made the Lido Loca cruising community, and I found my tribe. And what's been a wonderful journey over the last 4 years is that you guys have allowed me to speak into your lives. You've allowed me to create something from nothing on almost a daily basis, and that really gets me excited. So my why was kind of fulfilled. And then it became even crazier, like, can I make this my job? And then that became a goal, and my why became not only fitting into a community and helping lead and teach and inspire people in a community, but also, could I do this as a living where I don't have to go punch a time clock from 9 to 5, where I can take those same skills that I had at my job and actually bring that to the YouTube world? And another thing about my personality is I like to do the best I can at anything that I do. And so you compile all those things together, and that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to YouTube. That's the first big pillar. You have to figure out what your why is, and that's going to color what the next steps are. So if your why is like, I'm just a hobbyist, I want to work inside the community, I want to make some friends, then that's cool. I mean, you don't have to push much harder than that. If your why is, hey, I got a message and I want people to hear it and I believe in my message, then you want as many people to hear that message as possible. So what are some things that you can learn? What are some things that you can do to get that message out to as many people as possible? If part of your why is you want YouTube to be part of the way that you make your livelihood, then you got to understand how it all works. And so the second pillar is once you've determined what your why is start working on it. That's the biggest thing. I hear so many people saying, well, I'm going to start at some point. What should I do? It's very simple. If you want to learn this YouTube, if you want to be a part, if you want to have that creator life, you have to create. You have to do it, and you can't put it off. And so for me, I believe the best way to learn is to do something over and over and over again. And every time that you do it, learn something from it, evaluate it, try to figure out what you want to do better. And I'm still doing that on a daily basis. Some 1,250 plus videos in, I'm still trying to figure out what I can do better, and that's part of my mission. How can I do better? And the way that I learn is by doing. So the number 2 pillar is do it. You just got to do it. And then the number 3 thing is do not let great get in the way of good. A lot of people will procrastinate with their creations because they're like, well, it's not perfect, it's not the greatest thing that I've ever done. Do not let good suffer because you're waiting to find great. Put it out there, learn from it, make it better the next time. Those are my 3 core philosophies. So on a daily basis, I'm trying to answer my why question. I am working hard to do the best that I can, and I am making content and trying to learn from it on a daily basis. I guess I should take a breath and say hello to some people. I do have some questions that were asked for me today, and I will get into those, and there's a lot of questions that I want to cover. So I will stay here as long as you guys have questions, and we will work through it tonight. But first, a big thank you to Paper City Jeff for the Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Let's bring out Harry Larry Loca
Super Chat.
And happy Thanksgiving to you. The first question I want to answer, a lot of people ask me, what is my current setup? What am I using for a current setup? I have this picture here. Let's see if I can pull it up and show it to you. This is what I'm looking at right now. So if we're looking straight ahead, you see my camera up there. That's a Canon M50 camera with a Sigma 16mm 1.4 f-stop lens. I got this microphone up here on top of the camera. I don't use it. Sometimes I'll use it when I record as a backup, but I am speaking into the microphone that you see. The screen is displaying the live stream software that is running on a PC that's under this desk. This is my MacBook, which I edit on. I'm also going to show you guys some analytics on that. And then I got a couple lights. So I've got this softbox here. I got another light. I need to work on my lights a little bit. I need to clean up my desk a little bit. But I do not use batteries. I do not use memory cards. There is an uninterruptible power supply going into my camera, and then there is a cable that runs into my PC. And so every video that I record onto my PC, and then I transfer the file over to my Mac to edit. I hope that makes sense. All right, I'm coming back. So, what's up? Any questions yet? I'm sure. All right, let me say hello to some people. Thanks, everybody, for coming out on a Thanksgiving night. I hope you're having a good Thursday night, and I hope that maybe this is a distraction as you work through the tryptophan. I see that the admin crew is in the house. A lot of love. Big shout out. What is up, Ellen, Joe, Emily, all in the house, making sure that the room is good. Matt Firestorm is here, and yeah, I think we're going to have a good time tonight. Let's see. I think I'm going to answer some questions. How about that? So let me pull the questions up from over here. Does anybody have an answer to their why? Why do you guys create videos? That's what I'm interested in. I want to know your why. So I left a post on Facebook, and here's some of the questions that I got asked today. What editing software do I use? I use Final Cut Pro. The evolution of my editing software, when I first started making videos, I had a MacBook Air that had iMovie on it, which is the free software that comes with Mac computers. I learned to edit on that, and then eventually after about 100 videos, I moved over to a new computer, MacBook Pro 2015 version, and at that point I bought Final Cut Pro, which is kind of the next step from iMovie. The thing I like about Final Cut Pro is you pay for it one time and you get lifetime upgrades. It's about $300, which is a chunk at one time, especially when you're new into YouTube. But the comparable software, which runs on PC and Mac, is Adobe Premiere, and you have to pay for that monthly. There is a Black Friday special going on where you can get Adobe Premiere, Photoshop. You can get the whole suite of Adobe. It's still $32 a month. So in 1 year, you're going to pay more than what you would pay for Final Cut for a lifetime. To just use Premiere, you have to pay that every month. So, if you're making videos on a daily basis, $32, $50 a month, that just becomes an expense for your business. It's not a huge expense, but I do like the idea of being able to pay for that software one time and get lifetime updates. But the only downside to that is it only runs on a Mac, and Mac hardware is traditionally more expensive than PC hardware, and so you've got to figure in the cost of upgrading your hardware. Now, what's very exciting is that Apple has just released a new chip, the M1 chip, and in the past, if you would have suggested that you could edit 4K video on a MacBook Air, it just wasn't possible. You couldn't do it. But now with this new M1 chip, the Mac Mini and the MacBook Air might be viable editing machines, which wasn't true at all, and those are much cheaper than buying like a MacBook Pro or something like that. So if you're a Mac person and you want to get into Final Cut Pro editing, you might be able to do that now on the MacBook Air. That computer just came out, and that chipset just came out, but a lot of reviewers are they're pretty excited about it. Another question, this is interesting. So how do you know what to film? So this has been an interesting journey for us. Of course, we went on our first cruise and we tried to do a cruise vlog. I got home and I learned very quickly that I didn't film enough on the cruise ship. And so my advice, if you're vlogging, if you're getting new into vlogging, film more than you think that you'll need. That way you can tell the story. So the whole goal for me at the end of the day when I'm making a vlog is to tell a story. That story may be something as simple as what was the day on the cruise ship like for Tony and Jenny. And so it has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. Ideally, a good story has some sort of issue that you have to resolve. And so if it, something simple like, oh, tonight we're going to go see the big water show. And so if you set that up early in your story, hey, it's our second day on the cruise and the thing we're most excited about is going to see the water show. And then as you progress through the day, oh, I can't wait till we have that dinner and go to the water show. It's a very simple story, but you do pay it off at the end. The whole goal when you're making your video, so this is me. My goal, again, I feel like I have a message. I feel like I want people to watch what I make. If I'm going to take the time to make something, I want people to watch it. I want as many people as possible to watch it. And so the only way that you can do that is if it is interesting. And so if you watch your own video and you can't get through your own video because you're bored, then most likely strangers that don't know you, they're going to be bored also. And so I try to be mindful when I'm making a vlog. I ask myself that question, like, am I bored? Is anybody bored? Is anybody watching this? And that's how I approach the vlog. So, but back to the question, how do we know what to make? When we first went on the cruise, we came back and we made like 4 or 5 cruise vlogs around the fantasy, and then it was over. Like there was nothing else there. And I was kind of bummed out because I liked the adrenaline. I liked the, like, how am I going to put this together? Are people going to watch it? Oh, we put it on the internet and people watched it and people said cool things and we met people. And it was exciting. And you kind of get a thirst for that. Like you get that rush, like, oh, I want people to see what I make and like it. And then it's like, but what are we going to make now? And so what I found in cruising is there are a lot of questions that people want answers to. So one way to answer the question, what to make, is what do people want to see? And one way that you could tell, so what I started doing when I first got into the cruising community is I would go into these really large cruise groups and I would look for the pain points. Where were people struggling? What were the big arguments? And the one that I found is something that I had some experience with on my first cruise. Is Faster to the Fun worth it? I saw that question answered over and over and over again. And I thought, instead of typing it out all the time, oh yeah, I liked Faster to the Fun, this is why I liked it, I'm like, oh, let me make a video. And so that was really the first video for us that got some sort of success. even more so than the cruise vlogs. I just tried to answer that question, and then when I would engage in the community, I would say, hey, I think it was great. Instead of typing this all out, I made this video if you want to watch it. Now I would ask the community people, is it okay that I do that? And I would only do that like in generic groups, like generic carnival groups. I would never try to like post my work in somebody else's, Facebook group. And when we started, there wasn't really like a Facebook group for like cruise channels, and so that was one of the things that we tried to do with the cruising community, is establish a place that was outside of just those big generic hate groups. I mean, hate groups are kind of strong, but it was really distressing that you would go into these large groups and then people would be like, angry in there. And so that's why we made the cruising community. So one way, if you want to figure out what to make, is try to figure out what people want to see. And at the end of the day, that is how to be successful on YouTube. You've got your message, but somehow you have to get your message into a piece of work, of content that people want to see. And so right now with the pandemic, there's nothing to talk about but news. So how am I going to get my message into the news? And that's really what I try to do. Interestingly, somebody's like, what do you do when you're not a vlogger? Let me show you guys this. You might find this interesting. Let me see if I can pull this computer up. I'll go a mile a minute. I promise we'll get to some of your questions there. Okay, so this is my dashboard. So like if you're a creator, you should be living in your dashboard here in your analytics. And so if you go and look at our videos, let's look at the most popular Lido Loca videos. So we'll sort by views. So that was the question, like, what do you do when you're not making vlogs? Well, in reality, people don't necessarily come to Lido Loca to watch vlogs. And that may be shocking to you, but if we look, so these are sorted by most popular. So if we look at views over here, this is our most popular video, 10 mistakes first-time cruisers make. That's got 1.2 million views. Made that on June the 8th, or in June of 2018, and that's a tip video, right? The second most popular with almost 200,000 views, Ridiculous Cruise Passengers. That's a commentary video. So inside of YouTube, there's all these different kind of categories of videos. So a how-to video or a tip video. So like the 10 mistakes, that is kind of a how-to and a listicle. So that's a list of 10. So you look at is cruising ending? That's a little bit cruise news, a little bit commentary. The Dollar Tree shopping haul, that's almost a vlog. But you have to go through like 30 of the most popular videos before you ever get to a cruise vlog. So I would say that and here's the faster the fun that took off. This was May the 25th, 2017. It gets views still today. But that's the interesting thing. Like we're not necessarily cruise vloggers. We do vlog when we're on the cruise, but the majority of our content is tips and lists and commentary and news. And so it's not really been that much different for us from, during the pandemic. The only bad thing about the pandemic is nobody wants cruise tips right now. Of course, there's really no vlogging to do. And the only commentary is commenting on news that's usually negative. So it's been a really kind of grindy, negative thing. But again, I feel like I have a message that I want to share with as many people as possible around, trying to make the best out of life and those kind of things. And so if you watch the news show, you can see the message. So I know I'm peeling back the curtain a little bit, but that's how I approach it every day. What is the news? How can I take that news and put it inside the framework of we will get through this? And that's basically what I do. So that's how I answer the question. But you can, you got to find out what people want to see. You can do stuff like if we go to a YouTube window and if you just start typing the word cruise, you can see it populate with other things cruise. And so these are places that you can get ideas. So like if you type cruise tips, you're going to get Cruise Tips TV, which of course we know Sherry over there. But then you get down here, cruise tips for first timers. The reason that is in that search box is because somebody is asking that question. So you can use the YouTube search box to figure out what are some topics that you want to make a video on. And this works for any niche, any genre. Like if you type cruise news, look, cruise news today. So that starts to, these are how you find your content so that you can put your message into content that people are looking for. At the end of the day, YouTube rewards the creators that make content that people want to watch. and they reward the creators that make content that people watch a lot of. So if you're making a video, we'll go back to the analytics. Let me go back over here. Oops. Nope, not there. All right, if we go to, like, let me show you guys a video that's been popular lately. So this is the Cruise News Show from November the 18th. If we look at the analytics, there's a couple things that you want to look at. So if you're trying to figure out which video, the other thing is, if you want to know what content to make, figure out what of your content has been successful before. So if we look at this video here, we see that this one video has driven 295 subscribers. The watch time is up and the views is up on it. If you go to reach, you're also looking to see what this click-through rate is. And so that's going to be different for everybody's channel. So you want to try to improve on your click-through rate. And then when you look at the audience, you want to see the engagement. Let me go to engagement. You want to see the average view duration, and you want to try to improve that average view duration. So this was a 10-minute video. Right now, after all these views, it's being viewed about 50% of the time. On average on the channel here, I get anywhere between 50 and 63% average view duration. And so one of the things I'm constantly working on is how do you get people to the end of the video? Because the way the robots work for YouTube is if they see that you have a video where people will watch a lot of it, will get to the end of it, then that's a positive signal and they'll show that video to more people. So the whole game that you're trying to play with getting your stuff seen is what can you do to signal YouTube to show your video to other people. Okay, so that's a lot. I'll back out and we'll jump back in it and look at some questions here. Is that making sense? I just want you guys. All right. Who all is here tonight? Lovey's Fat Traveler. No, Lovey's Fat Life. Andy Lee. Dylan Seaman. Jack Decker. Slinky is here. What is up? Chuck Spencer. Kathy Mills. Angela Martin. Virtual Coffee Lab. How important is social media regarding channel growth? So what's interesting is, like, if we look at this one video, let me see if I can find it. Let me quickly get over here to the, it should tell me where it's coming from. All right, so let me show you this. The answer is not a ton. So what you want, if you really want to get a lot of views, is you want YouTube recommending your video. So 82% of this video, and this video's got about 60,000 views right now, 63,000. Most of the views on this video came from YouTube recommending the video. So there were enough signals, enough positive things in this video that the YouTube algorithm is now putting it on people's homepage. They're putting it on the sidebar. They're recommending it next after somebody else's video. So if you go down here like other notifications, that's a notification squad. Only about 18-20% of the people have the bell on. That's where that comes from. YouTube search 2.6, maybe people search Cruise News. That's not a lot. Subscription feed 1.4. Other is probably your social media. So it's, you have to go look even deeper to find external. So external on this video drove about 800 views. So the question about social media, 63,000 views on this video, only 800 of those views came from Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And so there is a great debate out there. Should you put a lot of time in social media, or should you try to optimize your videos so that the search engine, YouTube's like the second largest search engine in the world beyond Google, should you optimize for that search engine and not worry about trying to drive traffic through social media? Obviously, social media helps in a lot of ways, but as far as driving views, at least for us, it's not that big a deal. Let's see. Jeff Snyder, do I use a green screen? Every once in a while, there is a green screen behind me that I can just pull straight up, but I've been trying to use the practical set more than anything there. Let's see. Do I use TubeBuddy to help the title with a channel your size? Do you name it whatever you want? Also, do you spend a lot of time on the thumbnail? So all the gurus. So here's the thing that I want to say. At least a half an hour every day, I am trying to learn about YouTube, sometimes up to an hour. I have a list of people in my personal YouTube subscription feed, video influencers, Brian G. Johnson, Nick Nimmin, there's several people that I watch that talk about YouTube, and a lot of it is repetitive. It's the same stuff. After you've processed through it for a while, you're going to get the same tips from those guys. But everybody, without a doubt, says that the two most important things that you can work on is your thumbnail and your title. You've got to have a clickable thumbnail, and you've got to have an interesting or an intriguing title. And so it's a fine balance. And so for me, like, I struggle. It's like you want people to click into your video and watch your video, and then you want to hook them with your content. But have you made the thumbnail, like the big struggle for me, if you go back and look at my thumbnails, they're very inconsistent. I went through this whole phase of face on the thumbnail, not face on the thumbnail, and it's a mixed bag. So I find on my videos that I don't put my face on, I tend to get more strangers to come and watch the video, and opposed to the ones where I put my face on them. Now, because of my titling, and I think because of the look of my thumbnail, I'm able to get some good non-subscriber views with my face on the video. So I'm with my face on the thumbnail. So I'm kind of doing that. But yeah, that's the big thing. And then to your question, I do use TubeBuddy to check my titles. This is interesting. So if you guys are subscribed to TubeBuddy, let me show you what you can do. So like in a regular search, let me switch accounts here. So you have to link TubeBuddy to your main YouTube account. If we type here, when can we cruise? So sometimes this is how I try to figure out my title. So if I wanted to title a video, when can we cruise? If I do a search, it's going to show me everybody that's ranking or doing well for that word. So look, it gave me my buddy Don. A good way to do it is you could do it in incognito mode if you wanted to truly see what videos YouTube is recommending. But since I watch all of Don's videos, I have a relationship with Don. You know, I comment on that stuff. I usually get Don's recommendation. YouTube knows that Don is somebody I want to watch. And so you can see when you search when can we cruise. But the key thing I want to show you guys over here to the right is TubeBuddy has this tool here called the keyword score. And so we'll open it up. Should be able to pop it up. Maybe it's not the right account. All right, click here for weighted. All right, so I use this tool a lot. So right now, even unweighted, that means it has nothing to do with my channel, how it compares to everything else. This is showing as a good keyword or a good title for a YouTube video. So this is a great tool because what it's going to tell you down here in the score analysis is that this title is searched kind of in the middle. The competition, there's not a lot of competition on this title, so that's why it's excellent. And then the optimized strength is also excellent. So if I look at this as weighted, I'm assuming it's going to pop like 100%, 94%. So this might be a good title that I would use if I have a story that goes along with this. So this is a very popular story that you can tell today. When can we cruise? I use this tool a lot. And so, you know, I'll start with a word like cruise news. And if I look at unweighted, like if it has nothing to do with my channel, this is a poor search term. So then you want to add something to it. Cruise news today. Gets a little bit better. And then eventually you start understanding what may actually work better than cruise news. So cruise updates works better than cruise news. Not much better. But then if you do like latest cruise updates, we're getting better. This one's popular. You'll see it used across a lot of channels. Mega cruise update. See, now we're starting to get looking good. So I try to get a title that's looking green, very good in the unweighted, and then when you pop it over to weighted, it's a really good thing. And you know, whatever title you come up with, you can still add stuff to that. I'll do stuff like, you know, I'll start saying MSC and Carnival, and it adds on at that point. But that's how I use TubeBuddy. Hope that answers the question. Let's see. Let me go to the bottom a little bit. Hello to everybody who I haven't said hello to. I knew this would be a lot of talking about YouTube. I hope this is good content. If you're finding it helpful, please hit the like button. The other interesting thing is the call to action. So I got some pushback a couple weeks ago from a commenter that said, hey, every video you tell me to subscribe at some point, you tell me to hit the like button at some point, you invite me to make a comment at some point. We know what to do. We're YouTube viewers. I'm with you. I don't necessarily love doing the call to action, but all the YouTube gurus, YouTube themselves said that and my data also, fleshes it out. On the videos that I ask people to subscribe, they subscribe more so than videos that do not ask people to subscribe. And that's true for all of YouTube. And so you'll see even really big creators going, hey, make sure that you subscribe, because the people that are at YouTube say that, by far and wide, people will hit the subscribe button way more often when you tell them to, opposed to not telling them to. So I've been trying to find creative ways to do the call to action. I've been trying to work that into the news stories, and then also make sure that you're trading value for it. So a lot of times people don't get to the end of the video. So putting your call to action at the end of the video may not be the best approach. And then it's just haphazard, like, comment, subscribe. Then it really is repetitive. But if you get people into your video, if you give them some value, and then somewhere along the way you say, hey, if you're digging what I'm doing, if this is what you like, then maybe you want to subscribe. That's been good for us. We've had really good subscriber growth. The question comes up all the time, what does it matter? Does the subscribers matter? Does the views matter? It just depends what you're trying to do. If you have YouTube as a business, if you're trying to get your message out to as many people as possible, if you're working on all those things, you really want more. Views are more important than subscribers at the end of the day. If you can get your video seen, people will subscribe. You're trying to get views because that's how you get paid on YouTube. If you are, you can build a lot of ways to get paid, but as far as being a partner with YouTube, the way they pay you is by them running ads on your videos. And so the more video views that you have, the more ads that they can place out there, and the more money. So if you're thinking about it from a money or business perspective, or a revenue or paying your bills perspective, you want as many views as possible. But the thing that subscribers do for you is you need those good signals for the robots at YouTube. And so if you can get a big subscriber base that has the notification bell on when you drop your video, and that's why they say drop it at the same time. I don't drop it at the same time every day. I use another tool that says some days this is a better time to drop it, another day is a better time to drop it. But the idea is, if you have a bunch of subscribers with the notification bell on, that when you drop your video, you get this velocity where all your views go up very quickly, and that becomes a signal to the algorithm that they should show your video to more people. So if you think about subscribers, that's about positive signals toward the algorithm. If you're thinking about how do you make more revenue, then that is views. Hope that makes sense. Oh, Jenny B, are you home, honey? She was gone. I was here by myself. Connie Johnson just got the notification. All right. Billy Farron, I feel like you slipped that call to action in the middle of the video in a really cool way. Yeah, I used to just do the same thing every day, and I feel like that people fade out on that also. That's the other thing. Like, for a while, I was having a big drop off. You can also see on your analytics when people drop off the video. So let's go. We'll go back to this one. This is a cool new feature in the analytics. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. I think this is the engagement. No, that's not where it is. Yeah. Okay, this is cool. They put it right on the front page. Let me kick the camera over here. So we're back to this video that's been doing pretty good from the 18th. It's driven 295 subscribers, 63,000 views. Right on the front page, they tell you how the viewers found this video, and then they break down your curve. And so what you're trying to get is you want people to get through the intro. So if we hover over this, it said that there's still a good amount of viewers watching at the 30-minute mark. But look at this, or at 30-second mark. At 30 seconds, 22% of the people have already left the video. So you got to ask yourself, well, why? Is this intro too long? Does somebody not like the ships at the beginning? Did I not get to the content quick enough? You know, a lot of people, they just want the content. You know, you got to hook them. They want the content right away. And so I've played around with the intro, right? Like I've pulled away some of the old, I used to talk, then play the intro and then talk. And it would be like a minute or two before I would tell anybody about the news. And so now I've just been trying to make it feel more newsy with the news music and then, you know, get into the conversation as quick as possible. And it's paid off a little bit. The other thing that they have now, which is a new feature, is they show you these continuous segments, which means that your audience stayed there for this. What is it? It goes from 3 minutes and 29 seconds to 5 minutes. So almost a good 2-minute segment where not much of the viewership dropped off at all. And then the other thing they say to do is don't signal at the end of the video that your video's over. But I can't not do it, right? So I always play the Lido Loca theme music. I always say thank you. And so it's pretty obvious when my video is ending, and that obviousness may be hurting how many people are watching the video at the end, because when you hear that music, maybe you're like, okay, I'm going on to the next video. So if you're creating videos and you're trying to get people, you know, to watch the majority of your videos, which is what you want, because this is how your videos get recommended, by getting that average view duration up, keeping people in your video longer, you got to mix it up every once in a while and make it not so obvious that your video is ending. Or if you're looking at this, you know, there was a time where you would just see this thing drop drastically. Boom. If you look at your chart and it looks like a hockey stick where the intro hits and within 10 seconds nobody's digging what you're doing, and it looks like that, then you got to change something at the beginning, because you need to get this where you got people watching, 50% watching, you know, well into the minute or two of the video. Hope that makes sense. Again, I spend time every day for the last 3.5 years learning this, and so I'm just giving you a brief Reader's Digest. Hope some of those things connect with you. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see, Pinner 10 from Loveland, Ohio. Let's see. What percentage of your viewers are subscribed? I need to work on that. Right now, I think my subscribers versus non-subscribers is, and this is the thing that'll blow your mind if you can wrap your head around it. The bigger audience that you have are people that are not subscribed to you. And so while you have to make content that your core audience wants to see, you also have a larger amount of people that don't know you at all. So part of what you're doing is trying to make content that will entice people that don't know you at all to watch your videos. Let's just look, we'll look straight analytics. And let's look at, it might be, I can't remember what page it's on. Maybe audience. This is the other tool that YouTube's doing before we get to audience. They show you what time of day that your viewers are online. And so all these really dark purple marks is when the most people that watch your videos are online, and you want to release your video just slightly before that. YouTube or TubeBuddy's tool hasn't been working, but they actually give you a time. So here we go. Watch time from subscribers. Almost 50% of the people are not subscribed, and almost 50% of the people are subscribed. So it's about 50-50 for me. I think the best I've ever been, you know, before the pandemic, you know, it was about 60 to 40%, 60% subscribed to 40%. That was probably the best I ever got. But with the news, I'm pulling a lot of new people in. So I'm getting better at making thumbnails that are clicky. I'm getting better with making titles that are enticing. The other thing is you gotta not lie. And so that's another thing. It'd be really easy to make a, you know, that's clickbait. So if you make a title that says, you know, I'm going to show you how to make $1 million guaranteed, or just anything like that, you know, you don't want people to click on your thumbnail because you've made some extravagant claim and then you don't pay it off in your video. Now, you can be intriguing, you can walk the line a little bit, but you don't want to deceive people with your thumbnail and with your title. And so the real work, and a lot of times this is the work that even longer than filming the video, is what title will entice people, what thumbnail will entice people, and do you have integrity about it? That's the hardest thing, because the title that's intriguing gets the click, the thumbnail that's intriguing gets the click, and so it's hard. I mean, that's the hardest part. The other thing that I struggled with was putting too many words on my title, and the thing that I do now is whenever I make a thumbnail, too many words in my thumbnail, what I do now is I'll take my phone and you can use the studio app on the phone, and I will look at my thumbnail on the phone. And if you can't read the words on the thumbnail on the phone, you're not going to get a lot of clicks, because a lot of people are using their mobile device to watch your videos. And so you got to look at your thumbnail on the size of a phone, not this big screen here. And if people can't read it, you're not going to get as many clicks. All right. The other thing about vlogging, I see Jeffrey Cruiser saying it's hard to remember when you're vlogging. I don't know what he's talking in reference to. The more you start vlogging and the more you have the story in mind that you want to tell while you're on the cruise ship, then you start filming specifically for the vlog. So I went the extreme opposite. Like I said in the beginning, on the Fantasy, I didn't have enough footage. On the Paradise, I had way too much footage. And so everything that we did, I would let the camera roll. We go to the Christopher Columbus Cemetery in Havana. I got 2 hours of that thing, and it's not interesting. And so eventually you start learning your own style, and you start learning what you want. So for me, I film like 30-second clips. I don't let the thing, in my mind, I'm going a couple things. So if Jenny and I are standing there talking and I see the counter on the camera go up to like a minute or 2 minutes, I'm like, oh, we're too long talking right here. This is getting boring. We shouldn't be here. If we continue the conversation, let's go make it a different shot. That's one thing that I do. And then I never film 2 hours of anything, just unless I want it for my own personal, like sometime later I'm going to watch it. But for the vlog, I never, you don't want clips that are 4 or 5 minutes long, because you might have the coolest looking thing in the middle of that clip and it will drive you crazy trying to find that 15 seconds that you want to put in your vlog. So my advice, if you're vlogging, don't film anything longer than a minute. Don't move the camera unless you get really good at moving the camera. There's nothing worse than shaky footage. There's nothing worse than footage you can't hear the audio on. And so now, like, I will just hold still. I'll just hold still and get like a cool shot, and then I'll stop it. Then I might change the angle and get another cool shot, and then that becomes the movement between those two shots. But you start thinking about, how do you want this to look in the vlog? And just a good rule of thumb for us is, if we're talking in the same place for a minute or two, it's just boring. I mean, that's me. Now, I'm hyper, but I struggle sometimes when I just watch the talking. And what's crazy is the Cruise News Show is just me staying in one place, which is counterintuitive to what I do. And so you'll see me try to do disruptive things like change the camera, zoom, or put B-roll in, that kind of thing, because I get bored listening to myself talk, and I appreciate that you guys don't always do that. But for me, by the time that the video's done, I've heard myself say those things a lot. And so, but that's I'm always being super critical, like, this is boring, so how do I make it not boring? That kind of thing. All right. I told you all that in the little window. All right, I feel like I missed some super chats. Let me scroll back through and make sure. If I missed your super chat, I'm sorry. I've been on a roll here. Okay, there's Lovey's Fat Lives. Oh, I don't know if that's a new one or not. Okay, so there's Michael Gormley. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Hope you enjoyed the picture today. Here's my first question. Best way to get over the nerves and people staring? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's really staring at you, maybe every once in a while, but nobody cares. Everybody's in their phone. Everybody's in their own world. Just talk to the camera and ignore it. Just do it. I mean, that's the only way to get over it. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. Nobody cares about us that much anyways. We're not that important. Let's see. Okay, there was Paper City Jeff's. Thank you, Michael, for the super chat. Lovey's Fat Life. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad to be doing it. Let me make sure I didn't miss any others. Admins, help me if I've missed any others, if you don't mind. I've been talking like a fiend. I feel like somebody that had a white icon. Oh, another one from, no, that's Michael's. There's Chuck's. Oh, no, that's another one from Michael. How do you get past the people staring or try to jump in the video when you're out and about? You can't. I mean, there's people that just want to photobomb it, and I'll just say the same thing over. So if I notice some, most of the time I don't notice. So you'll see our vlogs where I don't notice the photobomber, because I really, again, I don't care. Like, I'm just looking at the camera. I'm trying to have a conversation. If somebody photobombs me, that's good. I've not used footage before because it was photobombed. If I recognize that somebody photobombed, I'll let them photobomb, and then I'll film it again. I'll go somewhere else and say something. But that's just the way it is, man. People like the camera, and, that's, it's exciting. I get it that it's exciting, but don't let it bother you. Just do your thing, man. Know that you're trying to make something to communicate with somebody else, and it's fun. It's fun. Thank you for the other super chat. Let me give you a little Larry, everybody. Wrong keyboard.
Super chat.
Chuck Spencer, thank you for the super chat. Loving the behind the scenes information. Yeah, I hope it's helpful. Again, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to this stuff. So.
Super chat.
All right. Did I get everybody? All right. People want to know what cameras, gimbals, mics, etc. do you use when vlogging? All right, so what's my current setup? I have a Canon G7X Mark II. That's been my primary on-the-ship vlogging camera just because the M50 is a little shaky when you hold it on a tripod or a handheld mount like a GorillaPod. I don't love it, and it's a little big for me. So I like the G7X Mark II. The thing I hate about it is there's no external mic connection, and so the audio on that is not great, and it crops in a little close, so I don't like the vibe of that. But that is but it's super convenient. You can shoot in low light with it, and it's an older camera. I like shooting with the GoPro when I'm doing walking around stuff. I have the Osmo Pocket from a couple years ago. I'll do a lot of walk and talk with that. If I'm doing a live stream on a cruise ship, I have the DJI, the latest cell phone gimbal from DJI, and I will do live streams with that. Excuse me a second. But it just depends what you're going for. So, I want something as small as possible and something that I can get good audio on. I have, taped a lavalier, under my chest and run it to an external recorder to get audio while I'm filming on the G7X. It's a pain because then you got to make sure that the recorder's going while the camera's going. Then you got to sync up the audio, so it's a nightmare when it comes to edit. I think at the end of the day, the next time I go on a cruise ship, though, I'm gonna try to take a camera so I've had the Canon M50 since early 2018 on the Caribbean Princess vlog, and I'm really ready to go to the next level of camera. So, we started out with our cell phone. But then on the Fantasy, we picked up what I thought was an expensive Sony camera, but it was like $300. And this is when I started to get the sticker shock that cameras are expensive. I don't even know the model of it, but that's what we filmed on the Carnival Fantasy with. It had a flip-up screen. And then shortly after that, we got the Sony A5500. I liked the idea that it had interchangeable lenses. I was learning about vlogging. I was learning about blurry backgrounds, and I wanted to see if I could achieve that. Then when I went to get better lenses for that camera, and it's not very stable. When I went to get better lenses for that camera, that was super expensive. And so then I switched over to the Canon M50. There was a lot of talk about the M50 coming out and the lenses that it had. And so that was the investment that I made. So right now the setup that I have, the Canon M50, it's about a $500 body. And then I got about a $400 lens on it. And this lens in sunlight, or if I get close enough to it, it completely blurs out the background. It's nice, but it's not great for vlogging. It doesn't do 4K. It's very shaky, so you'd have to put it on a gimbal. And then when I'm thinking about putting it on a gimbal, it just doesn't become fun trying to film on a cruise. So for me, I want my vlogging to be where you can see me, where you can hear me, where I can show you something, but I don't want to have to carry a full rig around to do it because it takes me out of the moment. Hope that makes sense. So I think GoPro, like if you're getting into it, I think GoPro, any of the action cams are good. You're not going to get a real blurry background, but they're doing pretty good with the audio. You can also put external mics on some of the new action cams. If you're just getting into vlogging, it's very steady. They've built in the steady into it, and you can get good audio on it. And so that's a good way to get into it, and it's inconspicuous. Not great in low light. I don't know where I'm going next with the camera. Again, I like this shot, but I feel like it could be sharper. I don't really like to use the Canon on the Canon M50 on the cruise for vlogging, so I'm looking for a camera, but I don't know. Who knows? I don't know when we're going again, so I'm staying with what I got for right now. Chuck Spencer, I think I said thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. And Queen Denny, thank you so much for the super chat. Was it hard to start opening up your life to complete strangers? I'm a total introvert, but I've been thinking of starting YouTube to find my tribe, so to speak. Yes, it's completely hard for me. So I am an introvert. I have no problem talking to the camera like this because it's just me and that camera. I have a lot of trouble dealing with social media with strangers because that's how it feels to me. Like, I've talked to a lot of people, and the only way I know those people are just the little face on social media. People know me very well, but I don't know the little face on social media. And so I get inundated with messages and friend requests and thousands of people, and that's been very challenging for me. But what's been cool is when I do actually go on cruises with people, I make actual real friends, and my tribe does get bigger. It's hard because I default to most people are decent, good people, and I've been challenged in some situations on my journey where you feel like people are good intentioned when you're dealing with them, but then you find out that they're not. And it's weird. There's like a whole level of hate that comes through this, hate in the comments, and you know, you find out that people are saying bad things about you that you thought were your friends. It's a lot. Now, I don't want to discourage you as an introvert, because you can do most of the work by yourself, right? Like, so we have this wonderful community that I've helped bring forward as an introverted person. I've made a lot of great friends. And for me, I get a lot of satisfaction watching the friendships flourish that I have nothing to do with. So I am here as part of my tribe. I may be the introverted guy in the back of the room watching it all unfold, but I get so much enjoyment going, okay, these people are friends now, and I had something to do with that. And so create your work, create your art, put your message in it, talk to the camera, and then still be an introvert and find ways to connect with your community in the introverted way, and it'll work out. That's just thank you for the super chat. I hope that makes sense, but I think you can do both. But be cautious. Be cautious that you got to have a little bit of a thick skin. You got to know how to use the tools that YouTube gives you to hide users. You're going to run into people that so I don't mind people criticizing my work if they have a legit criticism, but you'll run into people that are like attention seekers. You'll run into people that they never have a kind word to say to you just because you know that there's just nothing kind they have to say to you. And so at the end of the day, those are people that I have to let go of. You know, you can't convert everybody into being somebody that likes you. And if somebody's got, for some reason, they don't like you, even though you don't know them, even though you didn't do anything to them other than show up every day and try to share your message, it's just the way it works out sometimes. So you got to use the tools, you got to hide people. And at the same time, you're just like, okay, there's something that this person needs. They need attention for something, and you wish you could give it to them, but you can't fix everybody. So you just have to let it go. I hope that makes sense. And don't take it personally. Like, you know, when somebody who I don't know at all, complete stranger on the internet, says something critical about me just to be mean, I have to check myself and say, well, I don't actually know that person. That person doesn't actually know me. And so I can't really give much validity to what they're saying because I don't know them. You know, like I evaluate it, like if it's a real criticism, but if it's not a real criticism about the work or something, you just let it go because it's not somebody you know anyways. All right. All right. That's right, Dylan Seaman. I found my tribe in the cruise world. 10 years of amazing. Goodbye, Billy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, Jack, if the comments cause your pain, simply have somebody else read and reply to them. There's far more positive affirmations in the comments than there are negatives. And so I'll take the few negatives for the love, right? Part of being a creator, part of putting yourself out there is, I do feel like it's ego driven. I know people will be humble about it, like, oh, I don't care, I don't really, but it's fun. It's great that people like what you do. It's great when people give you an attaboy. It's great when people give you the love. It feeds something inside of you, some affirmation. And so I take that affirmation all day long, and you'll get the stinging comment that'll throw you off your game, and then all of a sudden you start working through that file in your mind of the thousands of people that said you helped me, that you gave us good information, that you made our day better, and that the way it's like a tsunami of positivity that wipes out the negative. But the unfortunate thing is the negative pops up because every comment comes your way. But best way to plug your channel when getting started to help grow your followers. So you know, for us, what we did is we created the community and we started inviting people into the community, and we created a safe space where people could come and talk about cruising. And then we tried to build content around that safe space. And so I think in the beginning, I think our Facebook group helped us grow followers, but there are people that are growing all the time on YouTube. It comes down to making content that YouTube wants to show other people. If you can crack that nut, if you can figure out what people want to watch and then you make that content, YouTube will do the work of getting your content in front of people. That's really the study that you want to do, not how you can get as many people around you as possible, even though that's an easy thing to do because we can all make friends on social media and stuff like that. But if you really want to win the YouTube game, you got to figure out how to make content that the robots think that people want to see. And so you have to analyze the audience that you're trying to speak to, and you have to try to make content that connects that way. And then obviously, if you can build a little bit of a tribe around you, if you got friends, if you got family that are passionate about what you are into, you know, do that. We've tried to make that creator corner spot on Lido Loca for a while. Hey, look, just real talk here. I get frustrated. I honestly get frustrated. So for me, if I'm going to jump into a community and I want to use that community as a place where I can promote my creativity, and there's a lot of people that's what they want to do. I want to jump into a community just so that I can promote. I feel weird if I do that without being a part of the community. So, you know, we made a spot in Lido Loca for people to showcase their creativity, to showcase what they're working on. I wish all of those people that posted there would be more active in the community, because to me, that's the exchange. I'll give you a platform to promote yourself, but give us some love at Lido Loca. I mean, I know we're big. I know we've been growing, but we're no different than we were 3 years ago. We're just a couple people grinding it out, trying to build community, trying to get our videos seen, and we've had some success, but that doesn't mean we still don't want the love in our community. And so it's disheartening sometimes when the only time that you see somebody's name is when they are posting their video in the creator corner. And so I'm passionate that way. I'm not going to go into somebody else's community and promote my stuff without participating in that community. But on the flip side of that, I also made that cruise and travel video channel so that people could go and just promote their stuff without having to be a part of a community. The whole community is about promoting stuff. So find places where you can do that. There's a lot of cruising communities out there now that have the creator corner, and a lot of people, you know, you can go, but I don't think a lot of people are getting views out of creator corner. And that's what's frustrating to me about it. You know, it's like, is it doing any good to have creator corner or not? I think the real thing comes is when you participate in a community where you make connections to people and then people are interested in what you're doing. I think at the end of the day, that's the answer to that question. Thank you for the super chat.
Super chat.
All right. Let's see. Chuck, thank you for the super chat. This seems like a wonderful idea for the Vloggers Cruise. I love this information, even though I don't currently have any vlogging plans. I don't know that I'm going to vlog the Vloggers Cruise. How about that? I don't know. So the weird thing,
chat.
what do you do in this situation? So like I showed you there, our most popular videos are not vlogs. And look, I made a vlog a few weeks ago that I loved when I fought the wasp. I thought that was fun. I thought it looked cool. I thought the music was cool when I went to the car wash. I thought it was funny when I fought the wasp and I had the extra B-roll. And man, the video was completely disliked. It did nothing in in the scheme of things like a news video would. And I'm like, well, what do I do now? So I have an audience that wants cruise news. Do I even vlog anymore? Again, I think the vlog, my most views on a vlog is 42,000 views. It's like 30 videos down the list. And it really challenges you because I like vlogging. I like that storytelling aspect of it. But I'm not getting my message to as many people in that vlog as I could by doing commentary and doing tips and doing news. And so if the audience wants commentary, tips, and news, and I can get my message in there, then maybe that's the vehicle. I might have to make vlogs somewhere else just for my own pleasure. So it's interesting. There's going to be a lot of people filming on the Vloggers Cruise. I don't know what I'm going to film on that. For me, this is the way I think about the group cruise in general. I didn't vlog really heavily the last group cruise that we went on. I look at the group cruise as almost like a theme cruise There are people laying down hard-earned money, you know, when we're off by ourselves. There's people laying down money to come hang out with me. And so I have to get over my introversion. I have to make friends, and I've made wonderful friends on the group cruise. I feel weird sticking a camera in somebody's face during that whole group cruise experience. I feel like you're paying money not to see me film you, but to actually have a meal with me, to have a conversation with me. I feel like it's a more of a theme cruise that you're paying so that I'm there with you. And so that's interesting. Like, I don't, you know, there's going to be plenty of people filming on the Vloggers group cruise, but am I better served making connections with all you guys out there or carrying a camera around? I don't know. That's a whole 3-year process to work out in my head. What other question? There were a lot of questions on Facebook. Hold on. Let me see. Thank you, Maxie. Thank you, Arlene Copeland, for loving the WASP vlog. The other thing, let me say this, Broke Cruisers, thank you so much for the super chat. I started my cruise vlog at the beginning of the coronavirus. Yeah, it's challenging times. It's challenging times, but it does give you time to practice. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me give you a
super chat.
This really gives you time to hone your storytelling, right? Maybe you don't put it on your cruiser channel, but go out and film stuff and try to make a story out of your everyday life and see if you like it. It will help you. The other thing, like, if you think about it, I've been on 13 cruises in 3 years. I only had 13 opportunities to film on a cruise ship. That's tough. And so the other advice I give is you want to practice as much with your equipment before you go on a cruise, because it's showtime when you hit the cruise. You got to get the shots. You got to protect your data. You got to make sure you got good backup plans. You got to do everything that you want to do on the cruise ship if you're going to be serious about the cruise vlog. It's a one-shot kind of thing. And so if you don't know how to use that new camera that you got, if you're not sure about your microphone, you want to have all that worked out before you go cruising. So the one good thing about the virus, if there is any good thing about the virus, is there's plenty of time to practice. Start trying to figure out how to tell stories around the virus. Again, I don't know if anybody's watching them, but go ahead and cut your teeth and get some videos done so that the first time that you're trying to figure it out is not on a cruise ship. That was a lesson I learned the hard way, because every cruise I would go on, I would have to go, okay, this was horrible on the last one. How do I fix it? And you only have limited time to do it. So that's another piece of advice. Yeah, it's a bummer that Broke Cruisers, thank you for the super chat. It's a bummer that it started like that. Let's see. Practice makes perfect. That's true. Let's see. All right, let me see what there was another question. I remember a couple good questions here on Facebook too. I've lost the post. Somebody asked a question about the business side of it. Do you have a separate bank account? Currently, right now, we just are sole proprietors. So making money on YouTube. Somebody asked a question about the travel agency too. We made videos for about a year before we got into the travel business. What we realized about a year in is things would happen, like people would want to go on cruises with us. And Jenny is super passionate about planning stuff. She's super passionate about helping people and helping people plan stuff. So where I completely love making the videos, trying to figure out YouTube, stuff like that, that's not her passion. Her passion is helping out people, and travel completely scratched that itch for her. And we realized that there would be opportunities for us to have a revenue stream by booking people's travel. And so we did that. It was a year after we started. We didn't start with the intention to become travel agents. We didn't start with the intention to become YouTubers, but we continually evaluated. We both worked our 9-to-5s for a couple years. We would work our jobs all day, and then we would work YouTube all night. And then that turned into working our jobs all day. And I'm working YouTube all night. Jenny's working travel all night, to get to the point where we could finally move to Florida and where this could be our full-time gig. Of course, the virus happened, which was depressing, but we've been very fortunate. Oddly enough, YouTube last month was amazing because of all the presidential ads. I mentioned it earlier. Views is what you need for AdSense, for ads. And this is the way I look at it. So YouTube and myself were in a partner relationship. They say to me, hey, Tony, no, I don't know anybody at YouTube, but this is the voice in my head. Hey, Tony, we would love to sell some advertising to a variety of people. We need some videos to do that. could you make us some videos to do that? If you make some videos to do that, we will pay you. And I'm like, well, how many videos do you need? And they're like, well, make as many videos as people will watch. And so this is where it goes back to the analytics. If I wouldn't make a daily video if nobody watched them. So some people say, oh, why do you make a daily video? Don't you think you're going to burn the audience out? When the audience stops watching, which I'll be able to tell on the analytics, I'll stop making the videos. And so I have this agreement with YouTube. YouTube says, Tony, make the videos and we'll pay you money. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And so that, that's why we create daily, is because there's an opportunity out there not only to get our message out on a daily basis. You guys are digging it. You guys are watching it. And at the same time, YouTube needs videos to put ads on. They didn't have enough videos to run all those political ads last month. It was a really good month for YouTubers that were in the ad program because there was so many ads to be run that they were putting ads on everything. They've even made a change on YouTube that even if you're not a part of the partner program, even if they're not paying you, they can stick ads on your video now. So that's the way I look at YouTube. And the thing is, I try to do the best at anything that I could do. I've been contemplating taking up chess as a hobby. I used to play chess when I was a kid. Jenny is already annoyed with me because I'm reading chess internet sites, I'm watching chess videos, I'm reading chess books, I'm talking about chess. And so whether it's my hobby, whether it's my job, I am obsessive about being the best and doing the best that I can. Like for me, like why make the effort? I hear people say, well, I just want to get my message out, and whoever hears that message, that's fine. I'm not really concerned. To me, like if you have a message that you believe in, do the work to get it to as many people as possible, because that's what your message deserves. And so I get frustrated with it when I hear people, and who knows why people say these things. But again, there's no magic here. We just work really hard. We try to learn this. We try to give you information and help that you need. We try to meet a need. We try to entertain. We try to make people laugh. And people respond to that. And so we just do more of it. And that's it. People look at us sometimes like, oh, why are these guys successful? It's just because we work hard. And I believe that anybody can do it. It's not a skill that, that people can't learn. So I don't know where I was going with that, but there's that. All right. Oh, the other thing I was going to say about vlogs, if you want to grow your audience, don't make your vlog so inside joke that people don't know it. So the other challenge with group cruise vlogging is only people in your little small circle know the people. And so if you're like, you'll hear somebody reference somebody like, I don't know, somebody be like, oh, there's this, and that reminds me of so-and-so. And I'm always asking myself when I see that in a video, well, who's so-and-so? Now, I may know who so-and-so is. I know a lot of people in the community, but you got to look at it like some stranger has stumbled across your video. And if you're making some sort of inside reference to a person that nobody knows, it may turn people off. So got to be careful with the inside information when you're making a vlog. Because if your goal is for your vlog to get more people to know you and to know your message, then you've got to appeal to people and not exclude them by them not being a part of the clique or a part of the crew, that kind of thing. Jenny is a travel agent. She works with Expedia. So Lido Loca Travel, that we're powered by Expedia. We are independent contractors, but we do work with a partner in Tampa who owns an Expedia franchise. So that's what I was going to say. A few ways that you can make money on YouTube. Ad revenue. The only bad thing about ad revenue is you have no control over how much they charge the advertiser. And so again, if you're trying to, if you're trying to budget based on views, like if I can drive 600,000 views a month, I feel like, my paycheck will be this, and, I can budget my bills, that kind of thing. The problem is if the advertisement, dries up, then YouTube may charge less for the advertisement. So case in point, in March, before everything shut down, YouTube was charging a certain amount of money to advertisers. And so that the normal amount. Then in April, when everything shut down, businesses shut down, everything shut down, nobody was advertising. YouTube cut their prices so that they could still sell advertising, and they cut it in half. So like, say you drove 100,000 views in March, you got a certain amount of money that seemed normal to you. Well, when April rolled around, you got the same amount of views, you did your job, you got your message out there, but your paycheck was cut in half. So the challenging thing about depending on ad revenue for your business is you have no control over how much they charge the customer. So you have to diversify your revenue streams. We sell merchandise. We have a Patreon channel where people support us on a monthly basis. We're providing extra videos. We're sending out postcards. We're connecting in other ways. So you're trying to give some sort of value in the Patreon. We also, like I said, we sell the t-shirts, and then travel is another diversification of that. So if you're going to be a creator, you have to find sponsorships. We get some sponsorships. Affiliate links. So you got to find ways to diversify yourself so you don't have all your eggs in one basket. Our friend Bruce right now is struggling with YouTube. A lot of creators had a situation that happened a couple months ago. No other creators in the cruise space that I know of other than Bruce, where YouTube is pulling their money back. So what happened is they identified traffic that was fraudulent. They'd already paid for that traffic to the creator. And so now they're just pulling that money back, I guess, until there's some balance that equals zero. So imagine that all of a sudden, like, you know, there's nobody to call at YouTube, and all of a sudden they start taking your money away from you. They've identified that they shouldn't have paid you that money, and now they're taking it back, and you have no control over it. So you have to be very careful if you're trying to build a business out of YouTube to not have just all your eggs in one basket. And so it's a constant deal to try to balance your revenue streams. And so travel becomes a big one for us. Ads become a big one for us. Merchandise becomes a big. The idea is you want to have these multiple revenue streams all around the same. So if one of them drops off, it's not gonna hurt you too bad. That was on the Facebook. Somebody was asking about revenue. Oh, thank you, Firestorm, for posting the link. All right. It's 10:10. Are you guys feeling it? Do you guys still want to ask more questions? What do you think? My brother's in the house. What's up, brother? If we skip the ads, does that impact your revenue? They don't make it super clear. So what I understand, like, I can't say, here's the deal. The ads have to be watched some certain period of time for you to get paid. So they run a report showing you all of the ads that were long enough or all the clicks you got on ads. That's how you get paid. So yeah, skipping the ads, you definitely don't get paid. I don't know what length that you have to watch the ads, but they're paying for people to watch advertising, you know, because they're selling the I think that's the way they sell it to the customer too. Like the customer doesn't get charged until a certain amount of that ad has been consumed. Michael Knotts, what's up? Meg W is in the house. Question from Doug and Nikki. Sometimes we have to post bad travel experiences. They generally are panned by watchers and negatively affect analytics. We think they're important stories, but do you have that issue? What I notice is that it seems like negative garners more watches than positive. The thing is, you don't want to be mean-spirited about it. Hopefully, anytime that we've talked about a negative experience, we've been able to put a positive spin on it. Not because we did any magic. That's just the way we approach things. You know, even the worst experience that's happened to us isn't really all that bad. Yeah, there's things that affect your views. Like if I made this video and I just recorded it as a video instead of doing a live stream, it would not get a lot of views. It would signal the robots that all my subscribers hated this video. You know, a lot of you guys like it, obviously, but most of the people that are just looking for cruise news, they probably don't care about this. And so the major thing to know is live streams do not affect the signals for your uploaded videos. So if you do have a topic that you think will drag your uploaded videos down, which the uploaded videos are the things that live forever. I do want to show you this because it will be interesting. The uploaded videos continue to hit search. The robots continue to recommend the uploaded videos. The live stream, they recommend it right at the beginning to get people into the live stream. But when it's just sitting there as a replay of a live stream, like I'll probably take this down, but it doesn't affect your uploaded views. So if you have a topic that you're worried is going to affect you, that your audience isn't going to connect with, do it as a live stream. And that gives you the opportunity for super chat. Usually live stream, the revenue from a live stream is not coming from AdSense, it's coming from a super chat. And so if you have super chat, that's a good way to do it, but it won't hurt your analytics to do something as a live stream opposed to doing it as uploaded video. But here's another statistic that I look at a lot. Let's go back into the analytics and I'll show you what I mean. Over here, it shows you the views in the last 48 hours, and that will tell you, and I'm going to sort by the last 48 hours. So the video that I released on the 25th, it's almost at 20,000 views. You can see the little graph down here. Like when I released it, this is the subscriber pop. So you see that the graph spikes up, then it died off. Once it hits midnight, your views die in the US. And then if you're lucky, it comes back and it does a little love, you know, some other time. So I didn't release a video today, and so it's still getting a little bit of love. It did 265 views the last hour. The one from the 18th is still getting views, so it's still doing 5,000 views a day, which is pretty impressive because this is 7 days later. So in the last hour, it's done 194 views. Now this is interesting. If you go back, the video that has the most views, that has the 1.2 million views, June the 4th, 2018, that thing is still driving 252 views every 2 days. It's getting 100 views a day. And so if you can make content, so you're trying to appeal to a couple things. You want YouTube to recommend your video. A lot of times topical stuff will do that. Stuff that's enticing, intriguing will do that. But at the same time, you can get views from searchable topics. So if you can make a title that's searchable, cruise tips, 10 mistakes that first-time cruisers make, people are still searching for that even in the non-cruise days. And so this video that's 2 years old is still driving 9 views an hour, which is pretty amazing. You know, you look down, this is a 2019 video that's still driving views. And look, these aren't a lot of views, but these are views where ads are going out, so it's still helping your business. That's the thing about making more and more stuff. Again, the catalog here, 1,260 something videos. Now there's a lot of opportunities to get a few views here and there that really causes the channel to grow. YouTube still recommend, like the bad cruise ship passengers. I saw that video recommended in my own feed, and I know I watched that back in 2019. And so that is still getting views. Here's a 2017 that's getting views. And, you know, again, you got to look. There's not a lot of vlogs in here, which is kind of interesting. It's more of the news and the cruise tips, but you get the catalog out there. Now, you're not going to be able to build this repeatable stuff off of live streams. Live streams have their purpose. Again, I think one of the purpose of live streams is to put content that you think might hurt you, and so try to do stuff live, but also obviously to make this connection and to be able to have a live conversation. But if you're worried about the content, a better way to do it is live stream opposed to uploaded video. Hope that makes sense. All right. Steam Bean likes the purple lighting. Yeah, me too. Again, I like this image, but I want it to be a little sharper. I might have to upgrade it. All right, let me get a drink. I've been talking strong for an hour 10. I think vlogs will have a place once cruising comes back, but I don't think vlogs will ever supplant cruise tips and that kind of stuff. Let's see, Jack Decker. When filming on a cruise ship in motion using a tripod, does the motion cause a problem with a gimbal? I mean, the gimbal is a tripod if you want to think of it like that. Like if you're saying that you have it planted on the ground, maybe a floating ball head, that kind of thing. I have used the cell phone gimbal on top of a tripod. So yeah, I mean, anything that's going to stabilize it. A lot of times when I'm filming like a time lapse or something, I just film with the GoPro, which has great stabilization built in. But all right. Good night, Arlene. Thanks for checking it out. Broke Cruisers, thank you so much for the super chat. Definitely practicing. I don't know if you remember, but you helped me with some mic problems I had on a small trip. Thank God that wasn't on a cruise. Do you have any tips on getting content out faster? Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad I helped, and hopefully I've helped a lot of people. I always try to help as much as I can, but these days I do get inundated with a lot of stuff. It's hard to sift through all the stuff, so I try to help where I can still. Okay, do I have any tips on getting content out faster? The thing for me is I shoot for the vlog, and so this was another thing that we did when we first started. I personally struggled when I waited for people's cruise vlogs to come out. So like you knew that people were cruising, and then it would take a while for the cruise vlogs to come out. So a strategy that we had probably by the 4th cruise was, let's tell people, we've had a few thousand people in the cruising community, and we said, hey, we're going on a cruise. And we got people excited that we were going on a cruise. They knew the day that we were going on a cruise. We would live stream the morning that we went on the cruise. We would do live streams during the cruise. We'd take pictures during the cruise. Whose dinner is this? That was all, to keep people excited about the cruise. And because the whole deal is we wanted people to enjoy our cruise. And so we felt for people to enjoy our cruise was to deliver the vlogs as soon as possible. And so even on the cruise, when I was filming, I would be like, all right, I'm going to film my day. I'm already going to have it organized. Organize your footage for the day. Be mindful of the story that you're going to tell for that day. And I would just commit to editing video. So it was crazy. We would get off the cruise ship. We would come over to Jenny's mom here in Spring Hill. Everybody would be hugging, kissing, eating dinner. I'm setting up the computer and I'm doing a vlog the day that I got off the cruise ship. I already had my footage organized. But in my mind, I'd already built the momentum. I told people I was going on a cruise. I gave pictures. I gave live streams while I was on the cruise. What would be better than now you can see what happened just a week ago? And so we saw that trend happen too, where now everybody would start releasing vlogs close to their cruise, which I thought is great for the cruising community because I was so annoyed with having to wait for vlogs. I just started putting vlogs out myself. It's just a commitment to do it. I would sleep on the week that I would have. Sometimes I would have like 13 vlogs to do in a row or 7 vlogs to do. I just slept less and I would just work on the vlogs. Now, the other thing that I had to do is say, like, I can't be as technically proficient with transitions and everything. There's some people that make some beautiful footage out there. And I just had to resign myself to say, I'm not going to let great get in the way of good. I want good to come out fast. I don't want great to take a long time. And so that's the thing that I tell myself today. I'm going to make simple shots. A lot of the transitions I do, if you look in the vlogs, is me filming the life raft or me filming the water. And I use a 5-second transition from one scene to the next using that practical footage because I don't know how to do all of the fancy stuff. Like to do a daily video, me just sitting down and filming, researching, filming, trying to edit and try to get that up every day. It's a, 4 to 6 hour process with the researching and that kind of thing. I don't have the ability to do all of the cool stuff that I want to do, but at the same time, I feel like people are watching it and people are getting what they need. And I do the same thing with my cruise vlogs. I could probably make prettier cruise vlogs, but if I can get the story told and get you the story fairly quick, that's what I shoot for. Hope that makes sense. Let's see. Paul Meyer, what's up, buddy? I'm starting my channel back soon, branching out into all-inclusives as well, probably going to move to Mexico for a few months. That'll be cool. And that's the other thing. Let me talk about content. Thank you guys for the super chat.
Super chat.
You don't want to confuse the audience and you don't want to confuse the robots. And so I thought that I could just make cruise content. So if I made cruise tips, cruise vlogs, cruise news, anything that I said cruise in, that would be good enough for the audience and that would be good enough for the robots. Even inside cruise, that's tricky. Now, like I said, the vlogs, they don't perform as well as the tips. And right now, tips and vlogs don't perform as well as the news. There used to be a time where the news didn't perform as well as those things. And part of me says, okay, maybe I should just move the vlogs somewhere else and build an audience that just want to watch vlogs, and then people that just want to watch tips and news could be in one place. It becomes a lot of work. Now, I've branched out. I've tried different channels. It's been really hard in the pandemic to do multiple channels just because this is paying our bills, right? Like everybody is struggling to keep their job. Everybody, we made the decision that we weren't going to have 9-to-5s anymore. We moved to Florida. Boom, pandemic. The travel business went sideways. The revenue that we anticipated out of that with cancellations, they went away. So for me, to make sure I pay my bills, I make that daily news show. And I make it with the passion that I have for it. I try to uplift people with it. But at the same time, I know that I have to do that so that I can pay my bills. And so it's, nobody escapes that in life, right? You can call it a hobby, you can call it anything you want, but at the end of the day, I am fortunate that I get to sit in this room in shorts and talk to you guys about something that I'm passionate about, and it's helpful to you guys, and somebody pays me for it. So that's very exciting, but it makes it hard to do other things. I have the weight loss channel, 3,000 people over there waiting to have my message on weight loss. And fortunately for me, there's a huge community that's sprung up on Facebook, people encouraging everybody. And so my inability to make these weight loss videos haven't hurt those people, which is the thing that I was worried about. But I'm struggling to carve out time to even make those videos. And so there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, a lot of content I want to make. But until we get to some other place with this pandemic, we're working on the cruise news. I don't know if that was a question. I hope that. Oh, what I was going to say, though, is be very careful not to get too broad on your channel. Don't have a cruise channel and then do cooking. Don't have a cruise channel and then do gaming. Don't have a cruise channel and then do fashion. You're going to splinter your audience, and it's going to confuse the robots. So ideally, you release a video. Say you have a very successful video. So I have that video that's in the 60,000 views. If the next day I would have released a video, so YouTube's happy, they're showing that video out. Then I give YouTube another video to show out. If it had nothing to do with the cruise news, which drove all of those views, they would send it out to everybody, and then people wouldn't watch it. And then that would signal the robots to like, well, we shouldn't show this to anybody else. And so putting mismatched content together can hurt your channel. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Dylan. That's very kind. Bill Matson, travel, the way the travel works is if people have paid off their cruise, if they've made final payments, some of the cruise lines will protect your commissions. Some of the cruise lines will not. And it's a tough balance. We try not, like, if we feel like a cruise is going to cancel, even though it's going to cost us money, we don't encourage people to pay off their cruise. So there was a couple situations where final payment date was coming up, and we're like, we know they're going to cancel this cruise. Please cancel this cruise, because we don't want people making a final payment and then them canceling the cruise. We've been very fortunate that way, but it is challenging because, we worked on like that group cruise with Sharon at Sea for 2 years, and a lot of that stuff canceled. And, it's drastically different than that was part of our revenue stream, drastically different. You put all the work in and then you don't get paid completely. And it's a challenge. So yeah, travel agents, look, the cruise industry, they have to keep their travel agents paid on some level, because travel agents are part of the cruise lines. Even though they have call centers, even though they have websites, Carnival, the guy over at Carnival very specifically said that he would rather somebody book with the travel agent, because the person's going to get a better experience with the travel agent, because travel agents have experience. They have information that people don't always have. And they have found through their, statistical analysis that people are more satisfied going through the travel agent than going through their website or going through customer service. There's less hassle. I know some people do, the website, go through customer service, happy as a lark. It's not true for everybody, but if you run all the numbers that the cruise lines look at, they find that people have greater satisfaction using a travel agent than they do not using a travel agent. And so the cruise lines have to do something to keep travel agents incentivized, but unfortunately it's only a fraction. And so you do all this work, and then you have to undo all this work. You do the work twice, you book it, you unbook it, you help people get to the next one, which is what, Jenny's passionate about, but it doesn't always equal money, which is a challenge to do a bunch of work and not get paid for it. Hope that makes sense. All right. Are you guys getting value out of this? Please hit the like button. I appreciate it. I really don't mind doing this. I hope it's helpful. I hope, peeling back the curtain is, again, I'm not doing anything magic here. There's no, I've learned and I work hard, and you can do it too. That's my message. I'm staying till the coffee's gone. Yeah, it does feel like cruising's up and down. I mean, the reality, though, is the world's in a bad place with this virus, and once that changes, cruising will come back. And, the world changed on its head, and it's not even a year into it. So we just got to keep it into perspective. It took see, March to, it took 8 months to get here. What will 8 months from now look like if we, you know, if we get vaccines and stuff like that? Could be a different world. So that's what I'm saying. Cruise World, peel back this curtain here is a window. That's a black, that's a darkening, so I don't get any light into it, but that's a window. Streaming mixer and your mic setup. I know you're using Rode mics. Yeah, so I've got the Podcaster, which works with the Rode mics. It goes right into my computer, and so that's how I do that. I would rather have a boom system up here. Like I'm thinking about changing the system. I'm gonna get a better light. I got to get a better light. And I hear there's some Black Friday specials. So as much as I would like to get a new camera and lens, I think I'm going to spend the money on a light and then maybe a boom mic so that I don't use these mics. Like these mics are really good for podcasting. So that's that kind of thing. I hope that helps. But yeah, it's called the Rode Podcaster Pro. That's the mixing board that I use. Let's see, Lovey's Fat Life. What about music in the background? Some like it and some don't. I hear it on channels sometimes and I love it, but I don't hear it on a lot of cruise news channels. And so I never can find the right song. I love, I don't know if you guys like the opening sequence. I love mixing audio to video clips. I love that clip. I put it together in about 45 minutes, before, you know, just to have a little countdown. But yeah, there's been times where I've laid down some audio for the cruise news and I'm like, somebody's going to hate it. I don't know. Somebody asked this today, what do I use? I use Epidemic Sound for audio, for royalty-free audio. I pay $15 a month. I paid a yearly, thank you to the Patreons out there. I took the Patreon money 1 month and I bought a yearly subscription to Storyblocks, which gives me all of that stock video clips. So a lot of the B-roll comes from Storyblocks. I pay $32 a month for Envato Elements. Envato Elements has graphic templates. I use Envato sometimes to work on the t-shirts. And I'm trying to think what else I pay monthly. I got QuickBooks. We have a website that sorely needs some help. I wish I had somebody that wanted to write cruise articles every day. But yeah, so there's some expenses like that. Probably less than $200 a month in subscription type stuff. Broke Cruisers, I'll have to take a look at that. Hey, Anthony Simone, what's up? Let's see. Do you only specialize cruise? No, Jenny can book stuff everywhere. All inclusives, all that stuff. If anybody needs help with their travel, jbarnett@expediacruises.com. I don't know if you guys can throw that in there or not. Are you able to turn off in sleepers? So yeah, yeah, I am able to turn off. Like I try to stop working at some point each day, but when I wake up, the first thing, I mean, almost one of the first things I do is I search for cruise news, and I have a couple filters that I use to find cruise news. And so the earlier I get to making the show, I try to get for me, I always want to release it right when I'm done, but I try to start working on the show by 9 o'clock, and I try to have it uploaded by 1:30 or 2, and then I'll go on to do the next thing. What GoPro do I use? I have a Hero 7 Black, and it got better with the Hero 8 Black, which I was mad that the stabilization was better, and then I think the 9's even better than that. The one thing I don't like about the GoPro is the thing freezes up sometimes, and I've lost some clips on it. I'm looking really hard at the Osmo Action. But again, if you can make a small setup that's got a mic on it, I think there's a mic out there too. The other thing that I'm struggling with is the mic that's on top of the Canon right now is just a directional mic. This mic there, and so if you're behind it trying to narrate something, you can't pick it up very well. But now there's a mic out that will pick up both the front and the back. So I'm thinking when I start vlogging again, I might look at one of those mics that will allow me to be directional. But yeah, the only problem, as long as you can hook a mic up to your GoPro, you should be golden. But the GoPro footage all looks the same. I mean, you're not getting like a blurry background. It could look a little fisheye, which isn't that bad. But I really like the Sony ZV-1 because it does do it's got like the blurry background. The problem is it's not very wide. And I follow this guy called Potato Jet His name's Gene. He's got a vlogging channel and he has a tech channel, Potato Jet. And they've just released a wide lens that you can put on the ZV-1, which might make it better. At the end of the day, we're still looking for a great point and shoot that's got a flippy screen and a mic. That could be a game changer that does good in low light. But the best footage comes out of cameras that you can put lenses on. So I haven't experimented with shorts. I haven't messed with TikTok. I just don't have time. Again, like my priority, we have a lot of very generous people on Patreon. I'm trying to do more for them. I'm making the daily show. Everybody's getting that. Nobody should be mad about that. I'm giving out that content on the daily. We've got over 100 people that are supporters of us on Patreon, which I'm extremely grateful for, and I'm trying to do more for them. We tried to start a podcast. We struggled to get and talk to that. I think podcast is the next level. If you look at what Joe Rogan did to monetize podcasts, and there's not as many people making podcasts as video, that's the new horizon. I would love to get into podcasts, thinking about trying to figure out how to put the Cruise News Show on the daily audio so that you could hear that. But I'd love to sit down with Jenny more frequently on the podcast. And then the website is not doing anything. So it makes shorts, it makes TikTok, it makes all that stuff harder to get to, and again, I would love to get back. I got to lose some weight. I would love to get back to that, but I just struggle to have the time. Yeah. So the challenge, Firestorm, is you want the shotgun because you want that vibe of catching what's right in front of it. But now they're making one where it's like two shotgun mics stuck together so that you can, it doesn't always have to be omnidirectional. So you can actually change the focus of the mic so that it's not picking up what's in front of the mic when you're the only one behind it talking. It's really a neat innovation. Let's see. Love Don. James says that Don's a good guy. He's such a nice guy. Convert to Sony Alpha Series. Yeah, 64. I tell you what, I'm looking for the studio. I'm looking at the Sony A7C. Now, if I can't pull the trigger, right? So the Sony A7, what is it? It's the newest one that came out, to get the new body that everybody's raving about. A7X3, is that what that thing's called? No, I can't remember. A7S3. The Sony A7S3, to get the body and a good lens, it's $5,000. I can't do it. I'm just not doing it. But I'm trying to find something that's a step up from my current setup. So I've been looking at the Sony A7C. But I still don't think that's what I want to take on a cruise ship. But I do think I would like it for the studio shot. All right. Let's see. Artie Kaiser, thank you so much for the super chat. I know, Tony, I know you were an IT man, but do you have previous marketing experience? Also, did you do presentations previously? You seem comfortable in front of the mic, even in the early days. So my background is, when I was a kid, I always sang in the choir. I did some theater. When I went to college, the first time I was a math major, so I've got a lot of different interests. So I was a math major. I never got my math degree. The second time I went to college, I was a broadcasting major. I did a lot of college radio. I didn't get a degree. The third time I took all of that stuff then I went to community college and did IT stuff, learned all computer networking. I didn't get a degree. Do you see the pattern? Then I was finally able to roll all those credits into a bachelor's degree in organizational management. And so the cool thing about that education was it really did talk about how to use influence and presentation to lead. And then I have a master's degree in strategic leadership, and that whole program was around how to use. So if you look at leadership, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it was very command central. Like, I tell you something to do, and because you value your job, you do it. But now leadership today, and here's the cool thing, I'll talk leadership a little bit. Everybody leads in some way. There's somebody that you have influence over. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your neighbor. Maybe it's your coworker. Everybody has the opportunity to influence, and influence is, in essence, leadership these days. And so the interesting thing, as I came out of my master's degree with strategic leadership, is I realized that the currency of today in every situation in life is influence. And so a lot of what I do here kind of leverages that. the fact that I know that if I can present well, if I can connect well, that I can influence and that I can lead. And the leadership that I do, like I said, is the message that I believe in. So I take the message and I use those skills to do that. But yeah, I've always been a ham. I've always been somebody that's happy to show out, and I enjoy performing. Again, I like when people like what I do. Everybody loves the affirmation, I would assume. I certainly do, and yeah, I've always been like that. And so I'm huge fan of stand-up comedy. Spent many years studying stand-up comedy, and I'm always thinking about what's funny, what's quirky, and so it's all those skill sets rolled in together. It's amazing to me that because I went on a cruise, that all these things that I've learned my entire life converged into the last 4 years of my life. Who knows what the next 4 years is? Maybe I won't be talking about cruises in 4 years, but everything I've done in my life converged, and the last 4 years have been all those things compacted together. It's pretty amazing. Now I'm going to get emotional about it. All right. I hope that makes sense. Jenny B Show. We love her. We had a lot of fun with Cruise Wars. So I see talking about, so that was the other thing. So my other big idea is that creativity really flourishes in collaboration. And that's what we did. Like we didn't see it anywhere else. Like nobody was asking me to do anything. So I just started asking a lot of people to do stuff. And those were good experiences. Like when we did Cruise Wars with other people, it is hard to manage everybody else's schedule and everybody else's ego and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm still hopeful. I still have the idea, and I've reverted back into my shell. I've been burned a couple times. I'm always testing it out. Like I have collaborative relationships with people where you throw around ideas. And my thought process is when you're in that collaborative relationship, that those ideas should flourish together in that collaborative relationship. And I've had a couple of experiences where I've poured into a collaborative relationship and I've seen my ideas flourish, and I was excluded from it. And so it challenges me. It pushes me back into my introvert shell. I'm like, well, I know the one person I'm safest with when it comes to creating, me or Jenny. And so maybe I'll just work in that bubble. But I believe in it. I believe that magic comes through community, that magic comes through creative community. And there'll be another time somewhere down the road where I'll stick my toe in that collaborative, creative relationship bubble again. And hopefully it becomes beautiful. But I've had some challenges also. But that's part of the learning process. So, all right. What is the question? Would you teach one-on-one lessons for editing? Man, I would definitely, I don't have the time for it, but I would love to have part of our offering, part of our revenue stream. I would love to help people. I would love to look at people's channels and their videos and give my feedback. I would love to help people with editing. I just don't think I have the time for it. I think that could be something that I could be helpful, and I think people could find value. I think that could add to our revenue streams, maybe in a different life. I got to figure out how to offload some of this stuff that I do, and that's my whole life. Eventually, I go in and fix problems, and then I offload the solutions to those problems to other people. That's basically what businesses have paid me to do for years. I just need to figure out how to do that in my own business. But it's hard when you wear so many hats. Like, how do you offload some of this stuff? I think that's what 2021 is going to be for us. How do we take the things that are more administrative, things that don't require our creative energy? How do we offload that? And then how do we create more capacity to do things like offer consultations when it comes to editing or to channels, that kind of thing. So that would be a cool thing at the end of the day. But I don't have a place like that. Yeah, a seminar or something like that. My brother, I got a great idea with my brother, the Bro Show. We talked about it when he visited. I think it would be cool. We're two 50-year-old type guys that have 50-year-old type guy problems. We both have a big interest in pop culture. We both have an interest in classic music, classic rock music. And I think it would be cool to spend an hour every week talking to Retro Sarge about what's going on as 50-year-old men. It would be the Bro Show. A great idea that was on the virtual whiteboard in our brains that we haven't been able to work on yet. So a lot of stuff. I would love to have an editor. Really, I would. I would love to have an editor that knows how to do fancy tricks. I could just film but I don't know that we could do that on a daily basis. Like I would have to record ahead, I think. So maybe It might be something. I'm very protective of my own stuff too. Like, you know, the Flanagans can tell you that. They've offered to help me with a ton of stuff, and I'm very protective of my stuff. It is so hard to right there, Michelle says it's so hard to find somebody you trust, right? I have a vision for things. Very fortunate right now, the admins that we have in the community, they get my feeling on things, they get my vision, and they help keep that vision in place on the cruising community. So now we just got to figure out other ways to do it in other aspects. Yeah, so Jack Decker, I call him the gurus. I watched Roberto, I know a couple times, but video influencers I watch a lot. Daryl Eves I watch a lot. Video creators, I like Brian G. Johnson. I like Nick Nemeth. They're all in my subscription feed. I watch the Little Monster. They talk about thumbnails. I believe that you got to do that. KY Travelers, thanks for being here tonight, man. I hope there's some good information for you there. Thank you for watching, and get some sleep, get some rest. Yeah, that's true, Mike. Many of the large channels have an editor, so that's pretty cool. Jenny said I'm out of focus. She just messaged me. See, I need to upgrade the camera. Next level. Hello, I'm back. They're great. I mean, not to take anything away, the cruise world, the admins seem the best in the business. It's not a competition, really. They are great, but there's a lot of other great communities out there, and we're happy that they're out there. I think we helped some of those communities come into existence, so we'll take a little credit for it, yeah. How many cruises do you go on a year for average? So we realize the other thing about, so like I have a lot of expertise in skill sets like research and analysis and leadership, but you got to go on the cruises, right? And so we were brand spanking new to cruises in 2017. A lot of criticism came our way. Again, there's people that want your attention, right? So, you know, be people in the comments like, how can you say anything? You've only been on 1 or 2 cruises. It's a fair criticism, but, you know, somebody got mad one day like, man, you said that you should get your passport and you should, you know, give yourself 6 weeks to get your passport. How can you say that when you've only been on 2 cruises? I'm like, man, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize you need to give yourself time to get your passport. But neither here nor there. We committed to going on as many cruises as possible. In the 3 years that we could cruise before COVID, we got 12 in together. I got 1 extra because I went to Asia. We did that across 5 cruise lines. Every cruise ship that we went on was a different cruise ship. So another strategy at the beginning, we saw a lot of people out there that were loyal to a cruise line, loyal to a cruise ship. We said, hey, there's a lot of people that like a lot of different things. Let's have a lot of different things. And so that helped our growth immensely. And I think people figured that out. And a lot of people are going on a lot of different cruise lines now. But that was one of the things that we did specifically. Let's go on different cruise lines. Let's go on different cruise ships. And let's be as broad as possible so that we can make connection with people from all different cruise lines. So 12 cruises in 3 years, 13 cruises for me. We had almost 1 scheduled every month this year until it went sideways. Keisha Liddell, my favorite cruise line is the next one. We're going on the Celebrity Edge if it doesn't cancel in January. I think it's going to cancel. My favorite cruise ship, I can say for sure, though, has been the Oasis of the Seas of all the ones that we've been on. Good night, Mike. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for being here. Midwest Travelers, you're welcome. Yeah, Bill, we tried to get on MSC. That's the one that got canceled on us, or NCL. That's the one that got canceled there. Jack Decker, I don't like formal night anymore. I don't like hearing the suit. I've done formal night a couple times. It's fine, but it's not worth the hassle to me to carry the fun, the nice clothes. Jenny sure looks good dressed up, and I don't look too bad either, but I don't like carrying all this stuff. Our goal is to like just roll on our bags, make it easy. What lines have we been on? Carnival, Royal, MSC. That's 3. Carnival, Royal, MSC, Princess, and Celebrity. Never been on the Oasis of the Seas. The only 2 Royal ships that we've been on are, I've been on Oasis of the Seas, and then I got to go on Spectrum of the Seas in Asia. Never done the Atlantic crossing. So this year we were scheduled to go to Alaska. We were scheduled to go to the Panama Canal. The big goal for 2022 for us is to go to Europe and experience cruising in a different way. I'm not much fun in the sun. I don't really like the beach. I'm more of I like to go look at stuff, and there's stuff to look at in the Caribbean for sure, but it's not the main attraction. And so I want to go to Europe. I want to go up to the Baltic. So I want to go to the Mediterranean. Yeah, so we always try to wear I like to change clothes during the cruise. So, I'm shorts and t-shirt during the day. Then I like to take a nap, take a shower, and then I get ready for my night out. Usually that's khakis, a button-down black shirt, something that looks, not dressy, but something that looks different than shorts and a t-shirt, so I can go have a nice dinner with my lady and go to the show and be like James Bond at the craps table. It does it for me. It makes a cruise day feel like two separate things when I change clothes. All right. I'll wrap it up in 11 more minutes. Have I got all the questions, admins out there? Is there any questions I'm missing that's glaring? I don't know. Let me know. Are you going to have any specials for your merch for Black Friday? If not, I don't have any new merch. I don't have any Black Friday specials. I'm sorry. I need a merch person too. I need somebody to design the merch. This is still my favorite t-shirt because it's got the cruising community on it. It's still up there. Yeah, I don't mind, Michael. I don't mind collaborating with. If somebody's got a good idea, man, I'm happy to jump in it. I don't care the size, but it's got to be a good idea, and it just the idea can't just be put me over, that kind of thing, because we've had a few people that just very plainly say, "Can you just put me over?" Which I don't mind. It's so funny. Like, my dad was like this. Like, my dad would do anything for you unless you asked him. Like, so it's so weird. I'm a little bit built that way. I'm happy to help anybody, but if you come at me hard, like, hey man, you should just put me over, and I'm like, I don't even know you. That's kind of tough. But obviously, if you've ever talked to me, I will help anybody with anything. But if you come at me hard like that, like, it's kind of challenging. That's not the approach. That's what I'm saying. If you want to work, so my friend Don was very nice to us when we were a little bit smaller than him. I've worked with a lot of people that are bigger than us. My approach is always like, hey, look, I don't know why you would want to work with me. You've got a bigger audience. I got a good idea. Would you be into it? Don't ever expect a bigger channel to promote your stuff, to put you over. But, man, people ask me to come on their live streams. I come on their live streams, that kind of stuff. But the way I look at it is, I've been on people's channels that are bigger, and I would never expect them to put me over. It's not their job to put me over, but it's nice when they work with me. We bring people on this channel that was much bigger than us, and we promoted the heck out of it, but I never expected the bigger person to promote it. What is your favorite channel from Hey, Bruce, what's going on, buddy? Yes, I would say you're my favorite channel from Creston, British Columbia. Unless Steam and Bean moves over there, and then that would be a close race because I love the heck out of Steam and Bean's content. Jack Decker, put you over is a wrestling term. Does anybody know what that means, put you over? My brother knows what that means. Yeah, there's a lot of great t-shirt ideas. It's just a matter of getting an artist to do it. I've been talking to some artists, and it's just a lot of coordination when you're the talent and the filmer and the editor and the marketer and all the other stuff that we do. So do the cruise lines know of you? Do you communicate with them? How would you recommend a new YouTuber contact them? A lot of times we will reach out to the PR department and say, hey, we're going to film on your ship. Is it cool? But I prefer not to get a lot of free stuff from the cruise line because I don't want to take free stuff and then be critical. And I don't want to not be critical if it is warranted. So while it's cool to get free stuff, I don't necessarily like getting free stuff because then people are like, oh, why would you talk bad about me? We gave you free stuff. So gotta do that. Watching ships going out of Europe to see how they do the buffet. Yeah, it'll be interesting. What I've seen on the buffet on some video, I've been watching Dario, I think is his name, but the buffet's there. They just serve you from it. 7 more minutes. Any burning questions? Was this helpful? Would you like to see another session like this? Let me know. I did it live, so it wouldn't hurt my content. That's right. It's a shoot, bro. Is there anybody still here? What's going on? All right. Seems like it's winding down. Thank you. Thank you, Smoky Traveler. Bill, thank you. Midwest Travelers, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have you guys started thinking about what your why is? Figure out your why. That'll make everything else fall into place. I do watch Captain Kate. She's got a great YouTube channel. Yeah, I mean, if I can leave you with any advice, don't worry about the gear. Don't worry. Just make videos and figure out what people want to watch and make videos and make videos and make videos, and it'll come up. That's right. All right, guys. So I'm going to shut it down. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. I think I want to play that edited clip again. Maybe I'll just play the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching the show tonight. I hope that Simon Sinek, yeah, I do know Simon Sinek. Is Simon Sinek the one that said find your why? I've seen a couple great talks from Simon. Do you always reach out to PR prior to sailing? We try to send an email to PR. What was funny is the second time we went on MSC, they figured it out before we reached out. And MSC reached out and said, "Oh, we see that you booked a cruise," and we forgot to reach out to them. But yeah, I think it's helpful, especially. I've only been harassed not harassed. That's a heavy word, but I've only been spoken to once by security on a cruise ship for filming, and it was on a Carnival cruise ship. And somebody complained like they felt like I was trying to film them, or I had my camera out to film the holiday parade, so I had it set up in a way that it would capture the people walking by, and I guess somebody felt like I was filming them, and Carnival came over, the security came over and said, "Hey man, are you filming?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I explained to him that, we do this YouTube channel and I'm just filming the parade. I'm not really filming anybody in particular. And he's like, "Oh, that's cool." So it helps when you reach out and let them know that you're going to be on board. The other thing is don't bring a full production studio, have somebody carrying a boom mic around behind you and stuff like that. But everybody's filming with their cell phones anyways, so they're not going to give you a hard time. What is my strategy for, oh, that's a great question. My strategy for answering comments in live feeds. So I know that when we have 500-600 people, and I know there's less than that tonight, I know there's no way that I could read every comment. To me, so Jenny and I, when we do the live feed together, our strategy is, look, we're going to be here for an hour. That way you know what you're going to get. And there's no way I can read every comment in the live feed. I'm looking for something interesting. The live feed to me is like jazz. We don't plan anything. We try to come up with one broad topic, which I guess would be planning. But we sit down next to each other and we wait to see what happens. And I try to be funny. I try to annoy Jenny. And a lot of it sparks off of what people are saying. So always if somebody gives a super chat, I respect the super chat, right? So we call that out. But any other commenter, if you want me to read your comment, it's got to be something interesting. Like if I've already answered the question, if it's a question that doesn't make sense, I don't answer it. But I'm always looking for something to tee off of. We had that big toe, little toe conversation 2 weeks ago. I don't know who said something, but that was based off of a comment. So I wish I could read all the comments, but I'm just looking for something that's interesting. And if the admins bring a question up that they feel like I should answer, I try to answer that. But other than that, I just roll with it. I don't like trying to keep up with the chat. I like to just throw it to the bottom and see what's going on. No disrespect to anybody. I'm not, that's nothing personal against anybody. I just like to, I'm just looking for something that I can riff off of. If that makes sense. Have a good night, Bruce. Pletz Burger. Try and get to Australia and sail aboard the Splendor of Spirit. Yeah, definitely want to get to Australia. We have some friends down there, virtual friends we'd love to meet in real life. The Uber cruisers, that's Ian and Sandra. The Down Under cruisers are there. There's the Burgesses down there. What happened to Ann Jordan? That's somebody that used to show up a lot from Australia. We haven't seen her in a while, but it's on the list. Like, now that I figured out that I can fly to Asia, I can fly to Australia. So we would love to do it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Whoa.
Super chat.
That's right, Cruise World. Just roll with it, baby. Oh my gosh. Jeremy Swindle, do I feel like there's still room in the cruise space for more cruise? Who's big? There's nobody big if you want to think about it in the context. This is an interesting conversation. Travel is a niche. You can find travel creators that have 1 million subscribers. Kara and Nate, I don't know how many subscribers that the Lost LeBlanc has, straight up travel creators. Now, if you get in the travel niche, there's a smaller niche called the cruise niche. Jim Zim, he's had a couple viral videos. I don't know how many subscribers Jim Zim has. I think it's over 1 million. I would say that Jim Zim is the largest cruise content creator, but he is also a model train creator. He has straddled the two niches, and he gets good views, but he has a lot of subscribers. But he gets some good views on his trains. He gets some good views on his cruise stuff. So Jim Zim, the biggest. Then you drop down. Who's got over 100,000 subscribers? Which isn't really a lot in the scheme of YouTube. 100,000 subscribers. Tips for Travelers. That's Gary Bembridge over in the UK. Love the guy's video. Always good information. Gary is the biggest. And then you drop down, and Don is like chomping at the bit to get over 100,000. Sherry right behind him. And then you got a whole bunch of us middlers there in the 60,000 range trying to get up. We're all still small. The answer to the question, plenty of room to get in the cruise space. Get in there, get grinding. The other thing that I want to say is, if you see somebody else make a video that you want to make and somebody else already made it, unless it's like a straight copy, don't straight copy people. Like, we had somebody early on say, I want to do Cruise Wars and call it Cruise Wars. Is that cool? And it was like, no, that's not cool. I mean, do something different. So, but if somebody's talking about the cruise news, sorry, I'm going to choke. If there's a cruise news story out there that you have an opinion on, that your message fits well with, and you have any kind of audience, they want to hear what you have to say about it. So like Don and I will talk about the same thing on the same day. Bruce will all talk about the same thing on the same day. But we'll all get, one person will still watch all three of us because they want to know. Well, the Ship Life. I love the Ship Life channel coming up. Jay, I want to do some stuff with Jay. Everybody wants to know everybody's opinion on it. I mean, our videos are only 10 minutes long. There's plenty of room. That's what I think. Plenty of room. Oh, Uber Cruises is here. What's up, buddy? Uber Cruisers are losers. All right. Have we done it all? Have we said it all? Done it all, said it all. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I appreciate you guys spending some time on a Thursday night, and we'll get back at it tomorrow. Hope everybody has time off tomorrow. Hope everybody gets some cool Black Friday deals. I think I have to jump off now. I know that B&H has some deals, but yeah, everybody, you know, there's a lot of people. All right. Jeremy Axe, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for sharing with us, Tony. You do a fantastic job sharing your message. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, there's no, you know, everybody that's making content, we're just people that want to entertain, right? I've heard some terrible things said about people, and it's like, nobody's terrible out there. Just know that. So if you're in a conversation where somebody's saying something terrible about somebody, it's all these creators. Everybody's just trying to do the same thing, just trying to make some content, just trying to get their message out, just trying to get through the day. No different than everybody else. Hopefully connecting with people and making their day better. Thank you for the super
chat.
All right, guys, I'm going to call it quits. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Tony. The lovely Jenny B is in the chat, and we are Lido Loca. And until the next time, We'll see you on the Lido. Bye.